Hello everyone. Today I was bored this morning, so I thought, hey, I bought one of these at actually same auction I bought this. And I started researching it. And these things are most commonly called lead melting pots, but actually I think you can melt anything under 700 degrees. So anything that melts 700 degrees or less will melt in this. I'm just going to throw some things out that I think melt under 700 degrees. Lead, babbitt, pewter, tin, zinc. Not too sure about tin now, but and of course tar. I got another one of these that's bigger. It's actually a propane one, and it's got tar all over it. So evidently roofing tar, maybe. But anyways, that goes in there. And of course, you put lead in there and pump it up. It's a pump up one, wherever the pump is. Pump it up, and you light her up and melt whatever it is you need to melt. But anyways, I got looking online, and I found a video of somebody had one similar to this. Not the same brand, different brand, but same idea, just different manufacturer. I got this door open right now. That door actually latches. But anyways, I found the video. I started watching the video, and of course he put gas in it and pumped it up and lit it. And when he lit it, he immediately got, he didn't have this on there, but he immediately got my oil well just caught fire. Geyser coming out of it. Of course, it was on fire and then landing, and not something you wanted to light in your house. But after it burned a while, as it burnt, the geyser got shorter and shorter and shorter, and eventually turned into a nice blue gas flame. And, you know, of course, I got done watching that, and then I noticed that he had another video right after that one. And that video, pretty much first thing he said is basically somebody told him that you're not supposed to use gas in these things. You're supposed to use kerosene. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I seen that, because I was going to go dump gas in it. Well, then that's when I come down and decide to do a little research. So I come down after the model number, but the first thing I did was read the little label here, and it says, do not use gasoline with something, this unit maybe. Tighten filler plug or pump, something wrench, probably with wrench. Wipe spilled gasoline from tank before light. Okay, wait a minute. Do not use gasoline. Wipe spilled gasoline. How are you going to spill gasoline if you don't use gasoline? But then again, I guess it would be a safe thing to do if to tell you not to use gasoline and to wipe any spilled gasoline, maybe, possibly. But we know what that really means. Or do we? Because at first I was confused. Well, that's when I got really into this label and started trying to figure out what that said. So do not use gasoline with, and then I thought that was A-N-D, and then I-N something, something, something. But then after, it just like all of a sudden dawned on me that that actually says, do not use gasoline with, and that's an A-D. And the only thing I could think of A-D was lead. And then, of course, after that, in it would make more sense. Do not use gasoline with lead in it. Tighten filler plug or pump with wrench. Wipe spilled gasoline from tank before lighting. So I was pretty sure that's what that said, but I wanted to be really, really sure. So I come over here and I hit the old label model number with the carburetor cleaner. And immediately, first thing I noticed was the paint disintegrated right off of it, which kind of tells me that's spray paint. It's not a good quality paint. But then I noticed it's not rusted underneath, and I thought, ooh, is that aluminum tank? No. So I'm thinking it must be zinc galvanized or something. I don't think it's nickel coated. It's not pretty enough for nickel. So it must be a zinc plating. But anyways, if you look here, you can see it says Clayton and Lambert Manufacturing Company, model 22-A X-56, made in the USA. So I went upstairs and punched that model number in to see if I could find something, and I found some of these on eBay, but of course it was completely rusted up and you couldn't make out the label whatsoever. But I got playing around in different places, Google Images and here and there, and finally I did manage to find this exact label, and I was actually able to confirm that what this actually says. And here's the exact label. You can see they're the same, but you can see the part you can see. Now we can see for sure that that says lead in it. So do not use gasoline with lead in it. Tighten filler plug or pump with wrench. So I just figured I'd share this if anybody's got one of these and wants to read that label, if they take the time to YouTube it or Google it or whatever it, maybe they'll find this video and now they'll know what that says. Now the tighten the filler plug or pump would be filler plug, and then over here would be your pump. So you got to tighten them with a wrench. Now, going back to the geyser effect that he had, somebody also had told him, which I wouldn't have known this either, that that little tray that's underneath all this, you're supposed to fill that with gas and light it. And that heats up this coil in here. And what that does, when you pump this thing up, you're not pushing air out of here. You're just using the air pressure to push the liquid up through here. And the liquid comes in here, goes all the way around this coil, and then goes down, and then comes out a little orifice in the middle, right in the center of here, way down at the bottom, and it's kind of dark in there, but it's in that smaller tube, right, almost right in the center. Well, if you put gas in here and light it, that'll preheat it. And if you preheat it, what that does is the liquid that's coming up through here, going around, gets heated to the point where it turns into a gas instead of a liquid. Now, instead of the geyser, you'll just have some gas coming out, and you get your nice blue flame. So that was kind of something I learned. And something else too. This is speculation, but I'm assuming this is like a Coleman lantern, and it has a little needle that goes in and out of a hole, and it's like the clean out. You turn it to clean it out. That's what the Coleman lantern says it is anyways. But I guess it's conceivable that this is also the intensity adjustment. I'm thinking it must be missing a knob. I'm not sure on that. A little hard to get a hold of that. Not sure on that though. It depends on what type of valve this is. I know some valves are designed to only have two positions, either fully open or fully closed. If you try to use them halfway in between, they'll leak. And it makes sense if you think about it, because you can't unscrew this all the way out. It'll go so far and stop because there's a shoulder in there. So if you unscrew this thing all the way to the shoulder hits the sealing stuff in there, which is some kind of a graphite looking stuff, then you can continue to turn it to really tighten that shoulder against it. And now you've completely sealed it so it won't leak when it's fully on, if it's the right type of valve, which I think it is. So that might be the way you're supposed to use this. I'm actually going to have to play with it and see. You might have to turn this clear on and then use this as your flame height. I'm not sure. That's a speculation. Don't take my word for it. Research it yourself and figure it out. But I think that's about the gist of it. Let me say the model number again in case somebody clicked halfway through and didn't get that it's a, get it in the light here. Clayton and Lambert Manufacturing Company, model 22-A X-56. That's what this is. But I got to get this thing in a working state. It's not in a working state. This here's stuck and this is stuck. This here probably has a leather plunger on the bottom of it that needs replaced. And this here just needs, I need to unscrew this nut here. I don't want to turn this until I get this nut out. I want to get this surface here cleaned up. And then get this out and get it all cleaned up, put it back together. And it should do it some good. But anyways, I just thought you fellas might like to see that. Like I said, I'm mainly putting it on just so once I figured out what the directions there said, I figured there might be somebody like me, and it'll save them a little bit of research if they can just come right to a video and be able to see what that actually says. Lead in it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you.